you're going to record it, right?
We are recording. Welcome to Role Play Cafe. It has been a minute. We've all been busy, crazy busy. So I'd like to welcome Dell, top right, Donnie, top left, and bottom left beside me is the man, Drew. He's going to roll our seed chart today. So we're using our naive narrator seed. We've done this for many, many games, Dell and I. This will be the first time I do this for a OSR D20 game. So what you need to do, sir, is roll 3 dice 6 for me, and that'll give me a seed.
Yep.
And that seed will be something that occurs that I'll introduce to your characters as we play, okay? All right, my friend, roll 3 dice 6. Give me the total.
The total is 14.
Ooh. Okay, let's see here. Let's take a look. Oh, okay, this is a trip. So
never good when the GM laughs.
Giggles.
Yes, giggles. So even all I do is write a short blurb. I don't know the answer to it myself. That's what makes this naive narrator. So I'm playing the same way you're playing. I have no clue what this means. So I gotta figure out what the hell that means. Okay. All right. So last we left off, it has been 1 month since you have rescued the small village of Unpilton when you went into the far reaches of the Lake Pill into a cursed dungeon, and you defeated the specter, recovered the magic sword, built rafts. It was pretty bad, actually. I gotta watch it. So they built rafts. They loaded it with all their treasure. They came back with a ton of treasure. They then bailed out the treasury of the town of Pilton. Our dwarf, calling himself King, has used some of his gold to create a weapon, forge a weapon on the elf's anvil. And it's been a month. And I'm also going to use random weather today, and I'm going to use some other random stuff. So let's find out what the weather is real quick. Or actually, let's find out what the season is. 1, it is winter. And it is extreme temperature, extremely cold. What that means is if you're outside and exposed for any period of time, you'll have to make a save versus exposure. So it is a cold, nasty winter on the lake effect. Of course, to the Canadian, been there, done that, right?
Nah.
Right. What is cold winter, right? What is the lake effect, right? Okay.
You realize we had
winter
70 centimeters.
And it is extreme temperature right now, okay? Which means if you're outside for any period of time, you're going to be in potential trouble. The only things aside from that's happening in the town is they have allotted you all again in celebration of what you've done for them over this last month. They've given you all your own huts, fishing huts that are on the southeast shore of Lake Pilton. You all have your own little residence. They're small. They're big enough for one person basically. They'll have a fire pit. Dirt floors, thatched roof, but they might be stone or wooden structure. But you all have been given something to live in. They treat you with much respect. You've gotten to know a handful of these people. I don't know what else you've done in the month. You can certainly take a moment and tell me if you have anything that you wanted to do in the last month.
I've saltine and just lays around. That's all I've been doing.
So a typical
Pretty
man.
Pretty much, yes.
Typical man. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you guys are sharing a hut then. So what's?
No, we're not. No, we have separate huts. Separate huts.
Okay.
No, I don't need that.
For the record, she's been denying everything.
Okay.
That's cool.
It's one of those secrets.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Not ready yet to admit there's a relationship going on.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. You were about a quarter mile, maybe a third of a mile from the village center, right? So this is a little hike from village center down around the southeast edge of the lake where your huts are at. There's not a whole lot of huts over here. You almost have privacy over here on this side of the lake. The lake is big, but in proportion to the village and most of the fishermen, where all the huts are right around the village, you guys are kind of away from that. You have seen many people come and go, and some have come to see this dwarf that calls himself king. Some acknowledge that. They might even attempt to learn the origins of this dwarf king. Many of them believe it, but many of them do not believe it. But they come and they go. They have some have actually come to town to see this dwarf king for themselves. The dwarf clans are famous in the island of Suul, and so to hear of a dwarf king that doesn't have a clan is a bit of a surprise for many that like to come and see what's going on, right? Okay, so that word has gotten around, Drew, for your dwarf, right? Calling yourself king.
They all know about the Dwarf King.
Yes.
For the...
They're learning. They're learning.
They will.
The Unclay Alasa has come more than once, and the Unclay is the inquisitor, the tax collector. They come through to collect that treasury that you fortunately paid for the city, so it didn't lead to anything worse than you can imagine. But you've seen him come through twice now in the last month. When he comes through, he usually has a caravan of slaves. These are criminals. These are people he's collected that he's going to take back to the main priestess, and then they will judge whether they are to be condemned as slaves or to be hung. Many of them you don't see again. When they pass through the second time, it's a different group of criminals, slaves. Always travels with a handful of 6 to 8 guards that appear to be well armored and capable guards. This inquisitor. You may have spoke to him. I'll let you decide whether you've ever had a chat with this elf priest. But he is arrogant. He knows his place. He knows his authority. He knows his place in the echelon of the Amin. So he is he's like a Roman governor in that sense, right? He thinks he's above the law, so to speak. Okay. And today, what are you doing? Is the fog on the lake effect? It is an extremely heavy fog. You can see maybe 10 to 12 feet. The temperatures are cold. There's some snow on the ground. Not a lot of snow yet, but incredibly cold. The lake effect may have a lot to do with this. Do you have plans?
I am going to address Adam and say that, it's hard being king. It's very stressful. It's a stressful job.
And especially you, king of what, pray tell? You must be king from a long distance.
Of everything.
You are indeed. It must be a very difficult task to be king. The fishermen you notice today aren't headed out. They are amassing along the shore and in the center of the village. You know many of these people, right? You've seen them for a month or so, passing, going. You've broke bread with them. You've celebrated festivities with them. But they are showing up at village center in their armor, what armor they have. Some of them have very little armor. Some of them have leather armor. Some of them, surprisingly, have nice armor. They're arming, and they're congregating. They're all coming from the shore and to the center of village, garbed and outfitted as if going to war.
Okay, well, Wolf is sitting on the bank of the lake, and I pick up my last tanker of ale. It has little ice shards floating in it. Take a drink of it, and I look out, and all the mist is just hovering above the lake. There's a chill. I pull tight. I glance over at Saltine's hut with a sneer, shake my head, and get up and walk toward center of town. I'm going back to the tavern. A little bit of firelight, the fireplace and another tankard of ale is what I need. So I stand up and head that way.
Okay.
I step out of my little hut with 2 clay, I would assume, cups, and I holler at him as he's walking away, and I'm like, "Don't you think you need to drink something other than that?" As I'm sipping on some kind of herbal drink, nagging at him about the amount. of stuff he's drinking.
You're drinking foo-foo stuff. I'm drinking strong ale. Makes for a strong man.
All right, well, I need a strong man to help me deal with this chaos in case we're going to war. In case you haven't seen, I don't know if you noticed all morning long. There's been all these fishermen looking like they're about to head to war.
Are you worried? Is that where you're held up in your hut?
Listen,
You're sure they've been putting out?
I've been tired lately. Okay, tired.
Headache, I suppose. And I turn around and throw my tankard down and walk toward the inn.
The end.
I take the other cup and dump it into mine and just go back in.
Go back. So Drew, where are you exactly? Are you in the inn already with Un Adam? Or
Yeah, so me and Adam are head as we're walking down the dirt trail. We'll head towards the inn, and we're just making small talk from our previous adventure.
okay. Yeah. So again, you're seeing now everybody almost everybody's amassed. You see the barracks, the soldiers, the elf Unamine soldiers that are always barracks here. There's a garrison here. They all come out in the early morning with their woolen capes, watching. Some of them shake their head and they kick off their boots as they go back into the barracks. Others mount up to ride their rounds around this county. And they don't appear to be getting involved with the local villagers as they amass with weapons and armor. As you approach, both of you, you're coming, Drew, you're coming from one side of the village as Wolf is coming up toward the end from your hut area. And again, now you can kind of count heads. It's clear everyone you've probably ever seen in the last month is here, including the women of appropriate age and demeanor are actually prepared. Some with their weapons, their bows. Some actually with leather armor, and of course they're all freezing. And you can hear mumbling among the oldest Ungalungus, who you know. He's the tavern owner and the mayor. He's the one that helped celebrate when you paid the coffers up. And he's standing in the middle. They bring in, they cart in a mule and a cart. He rolls to a stop, and he climbs on that cart so he can get up above everybody. He tightens up his armor, pulls his woolen cape over, and he says again. And it's so cold, you can see his voice breaks a little bit, and you can hear everybody kind of mumble, and they all huddle around as he says, "Again, it is that time of the year where we must take it to Un Vargan, and they this time will fall, and this will hopefully be the end of this long feud with Un Vargan." And they all cheer. Some moan and groan. You get the sense that they probably have been doing this yearly for a long time, right?
I'm weaving my way through them. I'm sullen. They're nothing more than roadblocks to me to that tavern door. And I open the tavern and pull my white wolf pelt, close it around me and unlatch it and hang it as I go sit down at the table. And I'm fishing for a coin, looking around for the innkeep.
Yeah. The innkeep is out. He's out. Unlungus is out delivering a speech. So you pass.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm just in there.
So the older barmaid is kind of running the place. The heavy-set older woman who can't possibly partake in this ongoing feud with the neighbors.
I need drink.
Yes, and she scuttles around. Oh, you I expected I would have the entire day off as everybody is going off to wage war with Unvargan. She pours you an ale. It's very hot in here. They have a large fireplace, and it is roaring. As a matter of fact, when you walk in, as cold as you were, it's that kind of hot, right? It's like, holy cow, it's hot in here, right?
I took off that pelt and hung it. I start unbuttoning my shirt and kick up my feet again on the table.
Right.
War with Vargas.
I'm surprised they have not recruited you to aid them. This might you lot might be just all they need to end this feud.
Or why go feud? We've got the lake. It provides fish all day. Good ale.
But if they do not have this annual battle, then they fear they will lose the rights to the lake. This has been happening. If they don't attack, they fear they'll be attacked, and it might
They have
happen at
claims
any
to the
moment.
There's plenty of lake to go around.
You have not been
You know,
here
we-
long.
We're
I've
about
tried
a
to
quarter.
tell my men, and I've tried to tell my boys that over the years they do not pay heed.
We freed the island too, so we have rights to the island back and forth. We've paid in gold and elsewhere.
I fear if it can't be ended once and for all, this will go on for forever.
God damn it! Just bring me the ale.
Yes. Drew, where are you at?
Can I make
now?
my entrance?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
sir.
was just saying, can I make my entrance?
I was going to say, I want to walk into the tavern.
Okay. So as Donnie, as you cross again, you see this mass. You can't quite make out what he's saying. By the time you get to the village center, he's climbing off. They help him down. He's a little old for this, and it's so cold. And you see him. They all start to fall into line, two abreast, and they start heading past you, directly past you. They're going to clearly go southeast, up and around the lake. They're marching. As you pass, you can do a quick head count. And you realize some of them look like they're 13. Of course, some of them are these older guys that have been working in the field. Some of them have equipment, some don't have much. And they're all already noses frozen. Whatever they're doing, it's a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm mumbling on my breath, kind of like in disbelief as I'm making my way into the tavern.
And they're pretty stern faced. They don't look at you and call to you. They don't ask you, hey, join us, Salt Scene. None of that kind of stuff. They're all pretty much focused, freezing clearly, and they're marching off. There's no cadence to it. They're not militaristic, but they are organized, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Drew, you enter the tavern. You can see this happening, Drew, as you kind of come around and into the tavern. You kind of watch this line of fools headed around the.
Okay, is it a door? Is it like swinging?
Yeah, it's one door. You can just push it open or pull it. Yep.
Okay, I'm going to open.
Okay.
So I kick it open, and I walk in with an Adam,
Mhm.
and I walk right up to Wolf,
Hey, dwarf.
and I'm
don't
going to
sit.
slam my big gold mallet down on the table and just absolutely shatter the table
Uh-huh.
in splinters. And I'm going to turn to the barmaid, and I'm going to say, I'll pay for that.
Yes, you will. And she comes
I turn-
scrambling over, picking up the pieces. Of course, I'm assuming Dell grabbed his cup off of it just in time.
Why'd be such a brute?
I grab Wolf by the back of his shirt, I pull him to stand up, and I'm like, all right, let's go.
Get your hands off me. And like that, you've already unbuttoned a couple of more buttons off of me as I had did. You know what I mean?
Right.
So my chest is broad. Get your hand
Come
off
on,
me.
manly man. Let's go.
I turn
Let's
around
go.
and see Saltine coming in, and I say, it's warm in the place, but not as warm as my smile. I look at you.
Mhm.
Let me go. My woman's here. Come, have a drink with me.
I kind of am like, what is that smell? And I kind of feel nauseous.
Yeah,
and I'm
it's-
like, I'll pass as I sit down to the table.
you immediately feel how your hands and nose and everything warms. That's just how cold it is. You hear the barmaid talk to Unadam, and she says, "Have you heard any more? Have you seen him? Have you heard any more about him?" You overhear this conversation between the barmaid and Unadam as he's gone over with her to the bar, collecting pieces of this table that the dwarf has sundered. Right.
Be civil, dwarf. I thought you were a king. Come.
I am
come,
a
my lady.
king.
Sit
We
down.
are helping
We'll
these
sit down.
people.
Let's speak.
We
Helping
help
them?
our people.
Destroy the property.
We help our people.
I turn to Wolf and I'm like, remind me once this is over and we actually get a decent place to not invite him over if he's going to destroy our property like this, just like that. And I said it loud enough for the king to hear it.
Ooh,
Blasphemy.
the
Yes,
king.
yes. Take a seat. Un Adams. You're
Yes,
welcome.
he scampers over. Yes, Wolf.
I hear about some war, some foolhardy war.
It's
Everyone
not.
in their town leave. Then how do I get my L, my fish?
How do you get it? Well, we fish it and we harvest it. We make
Yes,
it.
but if they're tramping off some war, they won't be here to fish.
It is some fool. It is some fool, long-time traditional battle with the local village on the other side of the lake.
Bitterly cold.
And we will see this year if how many come back severely wounded.
Bitterly cold. We can stop this foolhardy mess.
You propose to stop it? How? How would you stop it?
Dwarf, King Dwarf. You come with me. We'll stop this.
That's King Blunder. King
Blunder, yes.
Sir.
Y'all know you're king, and it's yes. We'll head off there, and the king here, Un Adams, he can speak and come to some kind of a treaty, and that way things can go back to normal.
A treaty with
Yes,
the
you actually speak of something of common sense. I agree with you.
See, a fair lady, she agrees.
Okay, well, Adam, you work out the details. We go with these people to save the day, and then the king reigns supreme.
The king has spoken.
Yes, you will have to handle that. I am worried about Wellen. Wellen is 2 days ago. Wellen had vanished. He has not been back in 2 days.
Wellen? Who's this Wellen?
Wellen is the elf blacksmith that the dwarf has encountered more than once.
Blacksmith.
Oh,
the elf blacksmith. Wellen.
Dwarf.
Wait a second. I need that man.
We all will need him. We have no blacksmith.
No, but the king needs him for his Azurite.
Azurite. That is what he was mumbling when he left town. He had a backpack, and a staff. He had a sword, and he said he was headed for Azurite. He has not
probably
seen in 2 days.
Headed down with some whore on the way back. Let's go deal with this.
Yeah,
we need the people back. We need people to work. Do we not,
but
King?
The dwarf king is all-knowing. He knew the blacksmith.
King. You choose.
The king knew about the Azurite, and the king knew about the blacksmith.
Get the people back. They can work for the Azurite, as long as they get me my L and my fish. Simple. Don't be a blunderhead.
The thing is this: if we don't bring back the people, how are they going to provide for those who are too weak and all for their fighting who had stayed here?
Listen. The thing about being a king is the sacrifice of a few for the rejoice and wealth of the many.
The many? You mean you? One. That's not many. Many?
No. There's me and you and Wolf and Un Adam, and there's 5 of us and maybe a couple other guys and that fisherman that helped us.
We cannot spare sacrifices, dwarf. This village is small enough. You act like you have a legion of people here.
Yeah.
If you do, they're imaginary or either elsewhere. Let us go. Save the people. Bring them back off this foolhardy crusade.
Fine.
Stop this. I don't want to do this yearly.
I turned to Un Adams and I'm like, by chance, you don't know where I can pick up some oil flasks? Would you?
Flasks? Yes, we can. The blacksmith should have oil flasks.
Yes. Sticking it up well so the bitter cold won't frost.
Come with me. I will take you over to the blacksmith's shop and we will find some oil flasks.
I get up, and as I get up, I kind of like kick at Wolf's feet and I go, come on, we're going to probably need this to make this happen. Let's go.
Just lift it, honey. You know?
I roll my eyes and I just walk out and follow Un Adams.
Do everything for you.
As he pushes this door swings. As he pushes it open, the wind howls, bangs the door against the side, and blows some light snow in. You hear the barmaid screaming as this wind and cold blow through. The fire, as large as this center fire is, it blows and snaps. He fights through the doorway as the wind's picking up. He grabs this door as you follow him. All three of you follow him out, and he shuts this door. And he actually hears her bar on the other side, so it won't blow open or again. So it'll have to be banged. You'll have to bang on the door if you come back to the inn. And it is cold.
My pelt.
And you're starting to see now the fog is settling in thick. So again, you're seeing maybe 12 feet. You now can't see the lake from here. You cannot see this trail of soldiers, or I should say villagers. And you can just see the corral as you cross around the corral and into the blacksmith's shop. It's cold in here. It's not been clearly dwarf as you walk in. There is no evidence that he's been using this fire in a couple of days. It's totally cold. It's true. He has not been here at least in 2 days. He rummages in the back, and he finds. Let's make a dice 6 roll and see how many flasks of oil you can find here.
Oh, 6.
Okay. So he rummages back and folds back some old furs and things, and says, "Oh, we do have some." And he pulls them out, and he hands over, these 6 flasks of oil.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Saltine, you need anything from your hut?
I imagine that, in this period we have already gotten like furs and stuff like that. So I want to make sure I got that.
We might have to make a roll to see how good those furs are, right?
Okay.
So give me a 2 dice 6 roll.
2 dice 6?
Yeah, you're looking for 7 and up to see how good your furs are.
So we're rolling 2d6s, you said?
Yep, and add them up.
All right, I got 11.
Okay, so you got a +1 to your saving throws versus the cold.
Okay. Oh, a plus what?
+1 to your saving throws versus the cold. Anybody else want to check the quality of their furs here?
Yeah, well, a D6, right?
No, 2d6. 7 and up.
2D6. I said, I only got 1 available. 4 and 2. 6.
Oh, so your furs obviously patchwork, maybe pretty sloppy, pretty typical of a thief, right? Maybe not the best.
Even it's a white pelt, so
yes, yeah, right. But unfortunately, no modifier for your saving throws against the cold. How about you, dwarf? What are you made of?
I got a 5.
Oh, so again, no pluses for the dwarf. So she's got this pretty nice fur going, and you guys look pretty ragged around the edges, maybe, but
Wolf just made some, cuts and put it onto mine. Is it what it is? We'll just say that. I convinced him for his sacrifice of his fur.
All right, I'm back at my little hut and get my gear.
Okay.
And go in there and get Saltine's gear too. All
okay.
right.
Okay. And as you all make your way to those huts, Wolf's already there collecting it. As you come out of the huts, you see them along the shore, and you're following in some of the snow, the tracks of this very small army of villagers as they skate along the shoreline. Not close to the water, but I mean around the shoreline. But you can't see much farther than 15 feet in this very thick, heavy fog. The cold is remarkable. The snow, not so bad. At times, though, there's flurries of snow and howls of wind, but that comes and goes. You make your way along this shore. Through the day, half a day, very cold now. You come across a couple who, about 4, that have huddled up. They are villagers. You may not know them by name, but you recognize them immediately. They're huddled up. They've made a pathetic little fire, and they're all trying desperately to warm themselves. You might want to slide in here to warm yourself as well, but there's 4 that have clearly have fallen off the back half of this trail of soldiers.
Stragglers.
Yes, and they've made a fire and they're trying to warm themselves.
I come up and stoop right beside them.
Oh yes. Ooh. And their lips are blue. They've got snot sickles. I mean, they are.
No harder to follow, to follow the trail by the lake. And to conduct some war during this time of year, in this bitter cold.
War.
The cold will kill you before the enemy does.
That's what I said. That's what I said. See, un Thomas, did you hear? He said what I said. We should go back.
I
We should
say
head
nothing
back.
but obvious truth. Warm yourself by the fire. Let me warm too.
They scooch over, make room for the dwarf and the girl to join as they huddle. At one point, you realize one of them appears to have nodded off. He's laying slumped over on the shoulder of another.
Your friend, is he still breathing?
They look and they jostle him and they reach into his furs and they check his pulse. Oh my God, no, he is! And they lay him into the snow and they both fall over, toward him. And they
Get him by the fire.
They're trying to warm him. I believe he may have frozen to death. Oh my! Unamin! And they come back to the fire. That is it. That decides it. We head back now. One gets up, with his hands hurting. He breaks out his rope. He ties the rope to the dead friend, and they start dragging him back toward the village. You see them slowly off into the fog, dragging their dead friend with them. The odds that they're going to make it back, maybe not too good.
Do we have Unadam with us?
No.
Okay.
Onward!
That's foolhardy mistake.
Now let's make a save versus the cold.
Nope.
Now you're at the fire, so I'll give you all a +1.
Now, before they left off, Jason, I want to take my my white wolf cloak, and put it on one of them. All right.
Oh,
I know it may not do anything, but just as more extra.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. So you're giving up your fur. Okay. Very
Wow,
cool.
Del, chivalry is not dead.
Yeah.
I kind of look at him and I'm like, what are you doing?
But now you're going to die, so that was a stupid mistake.
So while you have the fire, you can make your first save against this cold with a +1 at the fire.
Okay.
Now that's a +2 for you, Donnie, because you have a +1 fur.
All right, so
And you're
rolling
using
20?
you're using your basic save. That's just the general white box save for your class.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I didn't make it.
So
Whoa.
17.
Okay.
Hey, you got a nice.
Yeah. Okay. Dwarf, you also have. That's versus magic. Okay. What's that? What
I
did
got
you
a
pick?
17.
Okay, Dwarf.
I mean,
I
a
got
nice.
17.
So unfortunately, Dwarf, this extreme cold halves your hit points. So your
Look.
hit points, whatever your hit points are at 1/2.
Like I look over to Dwarf and he's all blue and everything. I say, Dwarf, you're a bit taller. It's warmer up here. Should have
It's
brought
the
your
damn
pony.
gold crown and scepter, fool. It's freezing me to death.
I pull out of my bag
Brought your pony along.
and I hand Wolf 2 of my 6 flasks of oil, and I say, we might need this.
You want me to cover him with it? Set it afire, and I look at the fire. Dwarf, you should
You take the crown off, and it's like frozen on.
It's frozen to your
Brought
head.
you-
Yeah. All right.
should have brought you a warm body, and I reach over there and try to grab Saltine and pull her in.
Okay.
Adams, you just left him back there. Your fault.
At this point, I'm debating just shaving around my head and just taking the crown off and just going and just rock that. Maybe.
I reach out and grab one of the
Am I
sticks.
gonna die from this?
Can
With
you
a
die from this?
Yeah, can I die from this?
You could.
Yeah.
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 All right, everyone. If there's no torches, but I'm gonna still pick up.
I have torches.
Let's light them suckers and get a little warmth around us a little
Okay.
bit.
So
Now you're
I
still
have
at the
to-
fire, so remember you marched half a day before you stumbled across these guys. So it would be a half a day march just to get home, or you can look around this area for shelter, or you can keep marching and chasing these villagers. It's up to you.
Whatever we want to do. I want to head them off the pass. We need to move. Dwarf, next time
Could have just went and got the Azurite in the warmth, but no. Had to come this way.
Go back if you must. Go back if you must. I'll go save your people. All right.
I figure your cold-hearted self would be used to this cold. And I turn and say that to the king as I turn and walk in the
I'm
direction.
more used to a cold-hearted woman.
Yeah, bundled up in her furs, right?
Yeah, just snort at her.
Are you cold, dwarf?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to try to double time this?
Yeah,
catch him?
Yeah.
Okay. That you can do that by just going into a jog and into a run. Now, it could affect your performance later if you're fatigued, but we'll worry about that roll if you run into a combat. So as you make this journey following these tracks, again, now at this point you're starting to see some of the tracks are full. About an hour and a half along further, out of the corner of your eye, Wolf, you see something in the laying on the ground, just inside this fog, just inside your area. See,
There.
and as you look at, you realize it's a body. It appears to be one of these villagers who's dropped out, frozen on the ground.
Look there. And I go over there quickly and kind of poke at it.
Yeah, it's indeed one of your villager friends. He has his gear's been left with him. He looks as though he might have laid down here to rest or something and flopped over and died, frozen.
Damn it. At least we have a trail.
Does he have any like
Dripping
cloth or fur or?
Yeah, he has a cape. Not very good, but he does have a cape. He does have armor, kind of a leather jerkin and some woolen pants. He carries a pretty bad wooden shield and a short sword. He might have been 26 years old.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to cannibalism.
I want to take off the cloak
Okay.
or whatever he's wearing, and I want to hand it to Wolf. I go, it's not much, but just please take it for my sanity.
I'll snap it on.
Make a 2d6 roll 7 or more to see if it gives you any kind of benefit.
No.
Okay, so it'll help you, but it just won't give you that plus. But it's better than nothing, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's throw him in the water, Dwarf. Maybe he'll float back to the village.
So you got to break him.
You don't give me directions. You tell me to throw him in the water. I'm the king. You throw him in the water. I'm freezing.
Okay. All right. I started, and I just throw his legs down or whatever. Let's move.
As you break him loose from the ground and slide him over. This is exhausting work in these conditions, freezing. As you
I stopped. He said he wasn't going to help me.
You didn't take. Okay, you got him. Okay.
Up his leg and he let me. Whatever. Let's move. Let us move.
Poor this, and you knew him as Un Paul, and he was a great friend.
Listen, Un Adam's better. It's okay. Let's move on.
Again, double time march, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. So about another 45 minutes, you come across a large group. They're huddled. They have got a couple of tents up, and they've got a couple of fire pits going. And as you arrive at this group, you can see it's the villagers, about 20 of them, and they're warming themselves by large fires. You can come in, a dwarf, and heat yourself. They're eating, and one of them comes to you. You don't quite remember his name, but you've talked to him in the village before, and he says, "Oh, it is you. We could have used your leadership. Longus won't listen. He's taken the rest of us, and he's still marching on in this."
Longus, that fool.
This responsibility of the village was handed to him 40 years ago. He takes this role very seriously.
Yeah. Leading you off to destruction.
Yeah, but he did not know the weather would be this way.
What he left out. It was a frozen tundra out here.
Yes.
Look at the lake. It's a water. It's not frozen. You could have walked straight across it.
He
And you do
leans
this
in and he says,
warm myself up.
okay. He leans in and he says, but it is worse. He has got it into his head that Unvargen are responsible for the dragon attack upon us in the summer. If as you remember, the dragon attack, he believes they are responsible for that.
What proof does he have?
Well, I have no idea, but he believes it. He's heard it.
Vargan can command a dragon?
They have never had such power. They're not unlike us. They're not as good fishermen. They're wasteful. Their women are ugly and gross, but they're not much different than us.
Why would a dragon follow the lead of such people?
That is what we all beg to.
Why would you follow the lead of
A madman.
That is what we all fear now. What reprisals will we face if he survives? He's already called us traitors for not going.
How far forward is he? How long has it been?
That was an hour and a half ago since we stopped here and built this camp.
I put my hand on the guy who's telling us this, like on his shoulder, and go, my friend, you wouldn't happen to have any extra fur pelts or anything from anyone who has fallen, have you?
We have in the tent. We do. We have in the tent. We have some from dead bodies that we pilfered off those that didn't survive. He points to a tent that you might find some there.
I'd beeline it straight for there.
Okay. In the tent, you see there's odds and ends, and there's 2 furs hanging on like a wooden camel. Yeah. What do they call those things? Camel, whatever those things are called, right?
Yeah.
And there's 2 of them, 2 furs.
I grabbed both of them because I'm not the expert at it, and I want to take him back to Wolf so he can make the decision of which one he wants.
Okay.
Okay.
How many of your number have fallen?
2.
Okay, she's
Plus
coming
we
out.
left some quit. Half a day back, and some one died along the way. So we lost maybe.
We should not tarry. Let us catch. We have an hour's run. Are you up for this, dwarf?
Yeah, you're now warm, back to normal HP.
Will your stout legs carry you?
King Blunder, you are back to normal HP.
Perfect. Do I see any hot soup?
Yes, they're cooking all kinds of stuff, meat. Stews.
Ignoring everyone, I directly run towards some soup and start eating it, and I just snatch it from some old woman and just peel it from her hands.
Well, they gladly give it over when they see the king, who has saved their village. Oh yes,
that's right.
More. And as you eat, they slop more into your bowl. Yeah,
that's right.
They're gladly giving it over. Right.
And I'm just a glutton, and it's just going everywhere, and I'm enjoying myself.
You look cold there, King Blunder.
Long travels, yes, very cold.
Yes.
Seems you have food and warmth for now. We're gonna head out and try to catch.
No, I need slumber. The king needs to sleep first.
Fine, you can stay if you would like. I mean, if it's too hard of a journey for you, King.
You've convinced me. No.
Saltine, give me the fur.
I hand him the fur. Okay. I sip on my broth because I'm still kind of nauseous by the smell, and I don't want to eat anything too heavy on a run.
Right.
So I'm sipping on the broth.
Mayhaps you give me some of that soup, that warm soup.
I pass it over to him. I'm like, I can't eat this.
Okay, I hold it around me with the steam coming up, and let us go. We shall not tarry.
Okay, make a roll for this 2 dice 6, 7 and up dwarf to see if this fur gives you a +1 save.
Boom, 10.
Okay, so +1 save for you.
God, I got a 5 again.
Okay, so you're just at +0, but you've got a fur. Now, if you want to bundle it with the one you already have, I'll give you a +1, but it's going to affect your fighting ability if you put another one over this. If you get into a fight wearing all these furs, it'll affect you.
Hell no.
Okay. But you
and I'm taking off that damn crown too.
Yeah.
Put it in my backpack.
Okay.
For the first time ever, it's like a big iconic moment. A single tear Da-na-na-na-na.
Right.
Oh, the poor king has lost his
The
crown.
king of popsicle.
Oh
The
my
Fallen.
God. Oh yeah, it's a slow montage.
That's right. Flashbacks, reminiscence of
Right.
him
Right.
slaying the specter and, saving the people, pillaging all the loot, melting down into his battle axe of gold.
Crushing tables in the tavern with his large battle mace.
Battle mace, the end of it. That's right.
I'm going along trying to pick up the trail.
Okay.
Now,
Double time. Let's take a roll now on this double time. You need to make a strength or dex check in below as you race now to see how far you can get.
okay, dex check if I have a choice.
So we're trying to go below our saving throw?
Yes, no, below your dexterity or
Okay.
strength, whatever's higher. So you can
Yeah,
use strength
I got
dwarf if you want.
Roll
Got
the 6.
Okay. All right. So as you pick up pace, you come out of this camp pretty warm. You've got new furs, and now you're moving. And the wind is less here as you realize as you're circling the now we're getting to the northeast side of the lake. You can see where it slopes up into mountains and canyons. Almost as if this lake lay on this side at the base of canyons. You can see where there's rivers that run down into the lake here. You might pass through a couple across frozen rocks on these shallow rivers, and you begin to see where some have dropped out. Body here, body there. Probably as you go, about 6 to 7 bodies as you march on, and finally you come to a shelter, not far from the lake itself and the lake shore. They have huddled. What's left of Longus and his crew are huddled there, and they are appear to be planning. You can see just over the top of their heads, they're huddled behind a large, where the mountain range kind of runs down into the water. They're kind of huddled there along a rise, and you can see as you come toward them, you can see just over that rise are in the fog are just the tops of smokestacks where obviously the village of Umlangen is home, and their fireplaces are burning. They obviously don't know this attack is coming, the village of Vargan. It takes you 10 minutes to approach this crowd of what's left of his villagers.
How many does it appear to be?
About 17 are left with Unlongus.
Look there, Unlongus.
And they started with probably 45. So that's
Leaves a
how
trail of
devastating
bodies.
this has been, right?
He leaves a trail of bodies in his wake, leading these poor fools to their doom. Look, yonder the city lies clueless. This is some madness that's overtaking them.
This is going to be a massacre. We've got to stop this.
Yes. And I'm still kind of jogging or whatever. Let's get Dwarf. Keep up.
Ah!
Unlongus. I'm calling him as we're getting closer. All right.
As you they hear
Come out.
through the wind. The group that's huddled around him breaks open, and he stumbles out toward you and meets you as they all huddle back in around you. They all have torches burning, and he looks. He's despite his age, somehow he's survived this. However, it's clear his nose is frostbitten, and he looks and says, "What do you do here?"
Unlongus, what kind of madness grips you to take your villagers on this long trek in this weather?
Madness. This is what we must do. It is my duty as the village elder and the mayor to
No,
do
the
this.
madness lies beyond us in your wake with bodies.
I
Maybe it's time for a new elder. And I looked at Wolf.
uh-oh.
We see 3 turn back. We don't know if they made it or not.
They better not make it, or I will turn them over to the Un Clay, and he will take them away to be tried for treason.
Why? Why do you do this?
It is our longtime rivals that have sent the ball to attack us in the summer. I have good cause, good understanding. of this.
Sit this ball. This is what
Yes.
you suspect.
That is what I have learned this last month.
What proof?
The proof of the word of one I've trusted for 25 years tells me this. The ball guard have stationed in the mountains not far from their village and they have made deals with the Ball Guard to use the dragon. Oh, can't hear you.
No, I'm just saying to use the dragon to attack.
But what would they get out of it? There's not much.
They get the
It
lake.
makes no sense.
They get the lake, and they finally defeat us after hundreds of years of this rivalry.
But there's enough fish in a big enough lake for you both. It makes
Nothing
no
can stop
sense.
greed, woman.
You cannot understand. You are outcasts. We appreciate everything you have done for Pilton.
They want it all.
This you cannot understand. Make a reaction check. Who wants to make a charisma reaction check roll against this as you negotiate to change his mind? Where's the
Okay, listen. On Longus, you expect to fall in the city before dawn. What time is it? The day right now?
It's getting to be 4:30 in the afternoon. It's almost been a full day for you.
So you're resting, and then you're gonna fall in the city before dawn when they still sleep.
We will follow them when we are certain they are asleep.
And you are certain they set the ball.
Yes, I do trust my source.
Did you send a scout ahead?
No. This is our annual foray. Either they attack us or we attack them. It was going to happen. Now we have better cause, knowing what they've done with this dragon.
Okay, I'm going to roll charisma.
Okay, all right, so you need to add your charisma score to this as you guys attempt to change. What do you want to do? You want to convince him to take these people home, or what? What's your goal with this roll?
I want to talk him out of attacking the village and just head home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you saying to him?
Yep. What does the dwarf say for the final?
Pitch?
I point the mace directly, and I point the tip on his chin. And I say, you turn these people around or I take your head.
Dwarf. They can't possibly make it back now. Let them stay here in the warmth. Let's go scout ahead. See if there's some truth to this. We don't need to attack these villagers without proper cause. This ball thing, and I look at Umlongus. We need to verify this. We come back and we give you word. You pick your best warriors, not these children.
You are our best warriors, but you are not part of our village. We couldn't ask you to do it.
Wolf will do it.
Before you headed off on this foolish expedition.
As he says, Wolf will do it, I shoot a look at Dwarf, and I'm like, don't you dare provoke
It's
me.
Blunder. You keep calling me dwarf. I'm the damn king. Learn my name.
Blunder.
Come down, Blunder.
Okay, so this is interesting. So let's do a +1 for the dwarfs. They know what you've done. They know what you're capable of. As you survive this island specter thing and some giant from the lake, they know you as the king. So that's a +1 for the roll. Dell suggests he'll aid, and you'll scout ahead and maybe confirm. That's a +1. So +2 to this roll, sir. 2d6 +2, and your charisma. Do you have a charisma modifier?
I do. +1.
Calm down, Blunder. This is not
2d6?
Plus total of 3 with your charisma, and
So that's 8.
So 8.
Yeah.
Okay. He looks down. He looks at all of his people. He walks over. He picks up a frozen hand and pats the head of one of the young boys, probably 14 or so, and he turns to you three. We will make fire here, and we will wait for your word about whether this is indeed true. We will hold, and he commands that they put up shelter and they make fire here. But we will not go back, not yet, not until we know. But we will wait. We will hold.
the longest. If you see, if you see the place ablaze, the village ablaze?
Yes.
Take flight. Dwarf, this is no need for reckless abandon and approach. Stealth is needed for this, and I look over at Saltine.
Mm-hmm.
Strike them early. But then again, perhaps you, Dwarf, could provide a distraction if need be. So come along. Longus, take care of your people. This is not a place for them. All right.
So they huddle into the one of the crooks of this little mountainside, this that runs along the down into the lake, and they find themselves a shelter. They put up a couple of tents. They start building a large fire. It can't be seen once you top the rise and down.
Yeah.
They're clearly on the other side of this little mountain and hidden
Scared.
well. You can't see their fire. Again, the good thing is it's dark. It's about 4:30, 4:45. It's dark. You have got a very thick fog. No doubt, unless you're carrying lit torches or lamps, most likely you have good cover, right?
Yeah, if we don't have a shuttered lamp
Right.
or lantern.
So if you
then,
don't light a torch, they won't likely see you unless they're, right?
Well, that's what I meant about the stealth. So
Yeah.
I'll pull you guys to the side as we're walking away. Lungus, take care of your people, eventually lead them back. But if you see the place go ablaze, immediately leave. Now, how far away are we from this distance?
You're about 300 yards.
How far away are we?
You're about 300 yards from the first building of their village. And their village is not set up like yours, where there's little huts that dot the lakeside. Their village is set off from the lake. You can see where they have a pier and boats sheltered. There's no building at the pier at all. It's just boats that are moored at their pier. And then about 300 yards from the lake. So they're up away from the lake quite a bit compared to the village you stay at. And they're a contained little community. 2-3-story appears to be very well built buildings from this distance. Hard to say exactly.
Okay, and the ball where he supposedly resides is up further.
Longus just explained to you that his source told him that they are in the mountains up behind the village, and they are staying hidden in the mountains up behind the village is where these so-called Balgar dwarves were at.
Oh, Balgar dwarves.
The Balgar dwarves, who are the clan of Ball, right? And they are the biggest, most dangerous dwarf clan in the whole island, right?
So I turn to our lovely king leader and say, do you know anything of this group?
Yeah, you forgot to mention they're the second most dangerous dwarf clan, because there's the Blunder clan,
Right.
and then them. But that's okay. That's okay.
Well, that's what he's telling you, right?
Yeah. Right. Okay. So our clan knows absolutely nothing about those people, because I've been living under a rock for the past few years, or like centuries.
You do know enough that the dragon that had attacked, they all called Ball. All the villagers talked about Ball the great red dragon. So,
Yes.
So
Perhaps these dwarfs. Contacting the dwarves, maybe we can offer them.
Dwarves are difficult people. You wouldn't understand, because you have your whole height and
Well,
such.
you're the king. You're the king. You have the crown to prove it. You could convince them otherwise.
Aren't you guys
Change
all
direction.
related anyway, like a distant cousin or something?
Change direction. And we're saying this is I'm slipping through.
We don't hop around with partners like you folk. We have lineage bloodlines that we just pass down thrones to.
Be quiet, Blunder. We near the village, and I'm slipping and sliding and getting closer in.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so as you move through the fog and the darkness and still bitter cold,
Yeah.
and you approach, you do see now that there are stone. These are stone buildings. These are cobblestone streets. Uh, this makes your little village look pathetic, right? There's money here. There is structure here. There is sophistication here. And of course, you can see every smokestack in the buildings spewing smoke. No one on the streets. As you approach into, how do you want to go about? You want to go right in the village center? Do you want to go up the main street? Do you want to go around the village?
I'm looking around the village. I'm looking for some kind of a main structure, main house, or maybe a barracks or anything like that.
A lot of no barracks at all here, at least on this side of the village that you can see. However, they could well be housed in one of these stone buildings. That again, nothing like you're seeing at Unpilton, right? This wooden barracks for these dwarves. I mean, for these elves.
Just like home.
He expects to take this rabble and lead them against this.
I'm sorry.
I was just going to turn to you guys and say, this makes no sense. There's nothing that these people would want from that village. We need to find out who his source was, because I just fear now that maybe he was setting him up for failure.
This is why we keep you around.
I roll my eyes and it's like, whatever.
Smart.
So how close do you want to get to these buildings into town center? What are you doing?
I'm just going to walk down the road because I'm at home here. This looks like my hometown, so.
Dwarf, I'm grabbing a hold of you before you do that, okay, when you start walking out.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Del.
I said, I'm grabbing him before he tries to walk away from me. Dwarf, no, as he's going past me, all right? Because I'm down in the hunched area and he's walking out. No, we need to go to your clansmen, speak with them. You're the king. You can instruct them what to do.
So now we have to play Twinkle Feet all night. Prance around, act like we're not here. I hate this.
We're here to scout. We're to scout. I said you can be a destructive force if need be.
You said a distraction. Don't lie to me.
You can provide a distraction for cover.
I'll wait here. You go ahead. I hate sneaking about.
You go speak to your clansmen in the mountains above. Saltine, let's go. And I slip down.
Okay.
I follow his lead.
Okay.
All right.
So let's organize this. So you guys need to make a hide and shadows check with huge modifiers for this fog and darkness. Let me see here. I'll make the roll for you because you don't need to know if you succeeded.
Gotcha.
But let me find it with modifiers. Okay. Side 6. Because if you roll it, you know you failed. What's the point, right? Hey, you guys are level 3, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Dwarf, as you watch them now, again, how are you guys going into this village? Are you going onto the streets, behind the buildings?
Staying in the shadows is,
Okay.
From wherever.
So, Dwarf, you watch them slink off, and they seem to almost magically, you have to rub your eyes, you know where they're going, and they appear to be almost invisible. Maybe shake your head. This is strange. Into the fog, in the darkness, they disappear. So as you approach one of these buildings, this stone building, and you move along the wall in the shadow, you come to a shuttered window. You can see light coming through the seams of the window. You can hear voices, deep baritone conversation happening at this window sill. This is a large 2-story stone building. Across the street, another large 2-story. I'm sorry, go ahead, Del.
I'm going to the most impressive building is what I'm trying to get to. If this is happening, that's fine. But I want to get to the leader. All right.
They're all almost the same height, 2 stories, all stone. This is the first one on the cobblestone. As you come into the cobblestone path that leads through the center of town, this is the first big building. It may not be the boss man, but it's.
But I'm looking for signage or anything like that.
There are signs, however, I don't know. Do you have languages? What languages do you have? Do you have any special languages? Oh no, right. You guys are in Suul,
We
so
pour,
you
yeah,
can speak it,
we
but you can't read it. So you wouldn't be able to read these signs anyway.
Okay, got you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
you're
we're in
right.
the island of Suul. You haven't learned how to
Yeah.
read the language, right? Um,
Okay.
you can hear these deep, very as you pass maybe under this window. You can hear these voices talking underneath this window.
Yeah.
This
Stop.
kind of aims up. It's a cobblestone main thoroughfare that kind of goes up, and there's buildings on each side, all 2 stories. You can't quite see up and around what buildings are up into the above this hill.
Okay. I'm listening to see if I can decipher anything that they're saying. All right.
It is. Again, do you have any languages?
Oh, but I thought we could speak.
Yeah, but they're speaking a particular language.
Oh, okay. So I can't understand it. Gotcha.
Well, you might. I don't know if you have languages, right? Do you have any? What's your intelligence?
Intelligence is 11.
Oh, so I don't think you have. You have one bonus language, I think. Is that right? Yeah. So you get one.
Not indicative of this land because I came out from elsewhere. Remember?
Could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no, you can't quite make out what they're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, and I have a 7 intelligence. I definitely not.
You're an elf, right? Saltine?
No, I'm human.
Okay, you're a human.
Yeah, it's the first time I play human because I'm normally an elf.
Okay. Maybe let's say I picked up a little bit of dwarven from being around him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you may not understand exactly, but you can tell this is dwarven language.
Okay, and this is 4:00 in the morning, or in the
No, it's about 5:15 at night.
Okay, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, you guys have been up all day. You've ran the whole edge of the lake all the way around, and took you 8 or so hours to get
Okay,
in.
I'm looking for any kind of there's still activity out, right? And they're
not outside. They're all in, but there's clearly lit buildings. There's no lamps
Yeah, that's
lit
what I mean.
outside, but the
Activities as
buildings
far
are
as
lit.
inside
The
the building.
smokestacks are smoking. People are in these stone buildings. Nobody on the streets except apparently you two. Remember, you can only see about 15 feet in this
And I'm
swamp.
not hearing any kind of metal clinking or anything else, right?
Nope.
No armor, no. All right. I'm looking around at the snow and seeing if there was any tracks on the cobblestone. No recent activity.
No, nobody's been out at least in the last few hours.
No burning on the buildings or anything from dragons attack or anything, right?
No, this place looks, aside from it being frozen, very nice. Very nice. They obviously have money. They obviously have. It's a different class here, right?
Yeah.
Drew, you are doing what now? As they're working their way through the city, what are you doing, sir?
I'm sat down on the step of wherever we came in from, and literally just picking at my teeth.
Okay.
Waiting for them to come back.
So if you're sitting down in town, as you look at the cobblestones and you look at the building across from you, and you look at the building of the, like sitting on the stoop of this building, this is dwarven make. These are stone. This is dwarven.
Home sweet home.
These cobblestone streets are dwarven. These buildings these stone buildings are dwarven.
Yeah,
so
I'm just gonna start walking down the road.
Bargain are probably dwarves.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start walking down the road.
They failed to tell you that, right?
see if I read anything, or see if I can see anything.
Well, you can't read the language, of course, in this country because you wait. No, you're from the island of Suul, though, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so you can read. So this is dwarven language for the island
Dwarven
of Suul.
Suleri.
Yep. So you can read the signage. It might the name of a family on the door of one of these. You can see an inn, a sign of an inn. So yes.
Can we see him walking down the road?
I'm sorry.
Can we see him walking down the road?
No, he stayed near the bottom of the. Well, you guys were working up through the city, so and you only see about 15 feet in this at night. So.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to do, Drew? Anything you want to do before we return to their trek?
No, I'm just gonna keep walking down the road, whistling, hands in my pocket,
Okay.
kicking rocks, staring around, looking at signs.
Okay. You don't want to be quiet in particular.
No,
Okay.
I'm just being
Okay.
very nonchalant.
Okay. All right. Okay. So as you move up the cobblestone road, you're kind of following them, but you might be behind them by 100 feet or so, maybe 200 feet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys top this hill, and as you do now, you see a center structure. It's some kind of fountain with a statue. It looks like of your friend, dwarf, beard, standing cross-armed. You also see on the other side of this stone statue fountain a large 3-4 story complex. They're kind of, it's like a block, but then there's staggered blocks of the second story, the third story, the fourth story. They're very interesting stone, four stories high. That is clearly the biggest. Once you top the hill in the fog, you can see this 4-story stone building.
But we hear and see the dwarf now. Okay.
Well, you just see the statue. It's a large statue of dwarf. Yeah.
Okay, I see the statue and Saltine. This be the dwarfs, not in the mountain, but here.
I see that.
This is a fool's errand. He's taking them home. We need to go back and get Blunder.
Blunder. Mm-hmm.
All right, I slink back and try to retrace our trails. All right.
Yeah, not long before you run into a whistling friend. He's coming up the street, hands in pockets, whistling. Pretty pathetic whistling. His lips are frozen, right?
Yeah.
I'm just
trying
like,
to be
what
cool,
is
but
he
it's hard to
doing?
do in the cold.
What is he doing? He's blowing our cover.
Typical.
I'm sorry, Donnie, I didn't hear you.
I said, what is he doing? He's blowing our cover.
All right.
Like, I'm furious at this point.
So you all meet. Unfortunately, none of the lamps out here are lit. So, I mean, you're in the utter darkness in this village. So
Yeah, but if
there's
it's
no
a town
lamp.
of dwarves, the lights don't matter.
Now, Blunder, you were supposed to wait. Look yonder, a huge dwarven statue. I suspect this is the village of the dwarves.
And I'm just like, I see them up in the distance, and I'm like, hey, you guys! I'm on my way!
God.
All right, I skid her away from him at that point. You know what I mean?
Into the
Trying to
darkness. To
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
right, as you yell up to them, you hear a shutter unhatch and swing open. And at Blunder, as you kind of glance over, you see a head bob up, down, and then you slams. You see the shutter slam, and then you hear some voices in this building beside you. You guys, of course, got away from him, right, into the darkness.
Yeah.
Okay. As you listen, you can hear him talking still, and then you can hear the latch on the front door. Blunder, not 8-9 feet from you. You can hear the latch, and it unlatch and pull open, and you can see a gray-beard, gray-haired dwarf poke his head out. Say, you, it is cold out there. What are you doing there, fool?
Aye, where ye be?
Yeah, come in here. And he opens his door. Hurry, it's cold. And so he's waiting. He's holding his door open, waiting for you to join him.
Yeah, and I waltz right in. I push him out of the way almost.
Oh, you are a big lad. And he shuts the door. This guy's, for a dwarf, old. Very old, right? He's shrinking down old, right? Very old. You can see there's a little old woman that's obviously a spouse, and you can see it was probably her that looked out the shutters. Come, and she invites you over to the fire, and she offers you ale and food, and there's a table. Sit, enjoy. You are hardy. What are you doing out in the cold? It is a brutal winter of the dwarves.
I came to investigate dragons, and I walk over, stick my finger in my ale, scrub it in my teeth.
Are you a clan dwarf? Speaking of dragons, those are clan dwarf talk.
Aye.
Well, we know nothing of clan dwarves here. We are city dwarves. Yes.
There's no dwarves in the mountains?
Well, you've heard. We frown upon what's happening there, but that is not what we're about here at Unvargen. But yes,
What's happening there?
there are. Well, let's speak of the Baal who have moved into the Unamine territory here. We haven't met them, but some of our esteemed town leaders apparently have made some inroads with the Baal Guard.
And now the civilians shall pay. Such is corruption.
But we did not civilians. That is of our esteemed elders. We do not agree.
No,
with
never mind, old man. I'm talking to myself here.
Drink up.
This is all terrible, terrible news.
Yes.
You sleep well tonight, and I kind of just chug the beer, throw it at him, pat his wife on the head, and walk out.
Okay. As you open the door, they shuttle in behind you and shut it. You hear them latch it, and then you hear them talk pretty normally, right? That was. And then you don't hear any more murmuring. You do see one of the lights of their living room go out, and then as you cross into the street looking for your friends, you notice a light in one of their rooms above, second story, come on. Yeah, they light a lamp or a torch or something.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been Wolf and Saltine.
What you watched him go in to this place?
Yeah. We've been just hiding in the shadows, and when he opens the door, damn fool blunder. What is he doing? Blunder. I say from the side, trying to get your attention.
I just burp really loudly. Get over here, you bloody idiot.
Damn it. All right.
I go and step out of the shadow and walk over. Like, you're going to get us killed.
I walk up to Zaldine and I just take her fur and I just start wiping my face with it. I was like,
I try to, at this point, slap him because I'm just so furious with him.
Great conversation with an old man earlier. It was lovely. And then I filled him in on all the information.
Okay, I step out, looking both ways, and walk up. What did you discover?
Well, this old man, he told me that the dwarves are up to no good in the mountains, and that the elders are making rash decisions.
The elders.
I think the civilians are paying for what the elders' choices are.
What decisions? Like, are they aligned with them, or are they going to war with these other dwarves?
Oh, that they're warring with.
I had one conversation in the house with an old man. What do you expect me to know?
It's plain to see. The elders here, as the elders from our village, are leading their people to ruin. The dwarves here are making some pact with the dragon. It is true. It is true. Now all we have to do is eliminate the elders. Hey, dwarf.
I'm gonna kill that elf elder. I told him I owed him my head or his head, and I will do it.
Elder. The elder here.
So,
Which elf elder?
The elder, the last elder that we were talking to.
Longest? Unlongus?
yeah.
Unlongus and his elder gave him bad information
Right,
or whatever.
right.
Yeah, that's who Blunder's referring to.
Yeah.
Okay. Blunder.
The Unclay elf priest, and Unlongus is human, but yes, right, okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Human. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the information is true. Then why would you want to kill the guy who's now defending his home?
Because he's trying to kill the dwarf civilians for something they had nothing to do with.
Saying Umlongus is stirring the. But this feud has been going on for years, he said.
No, I think it's something to do with the dwarves in the mountains.
Yes, he said that the dwarves here in this village village is conjuring up some kind of.
My question is what were the dwarves told to make them want to attack these people because they have nothing. They're just shacks. There's no reason to attack them. So what were they told to make them feel like they have to attack them? That's what we need to find out.
When you're rich, you get your riches from somewhere. You aren't just
They have
rich.
no rich. They have no riches.
Yeah, but there's a reason why they have no riches.
Maybe they're after your metal.
No, I'm saying maybe they're after the mountain dwarf's money. God.
You think that rabble could be up here after the mountain dwarf?
Your intellect really is 7, isn't it? Ah.
I am but a dwarf. I am but a thief.
Exactly.
You are but a thief. I am but a dwarf.
I'm out in the middle of this road. This is unsettling, and I back off.
I think we should head towards the mountains.
I agree.
Okay.
Need more information.
For the first time, I agree with you.
That's
Let's
not the
go.
first time. We've agreed on many occasions. Would you like me to list them? I'll start right now. And as we're walking away, I start listing off like 8, 9 different times.
And the time I said, let's drink ale, and you said, yes, let's do that. And the time I said, let's drink more ale, and you said, yes, let's do it.
Let's eat.
At the time I said, you should say, shut up, woman. And you said, yes, that's a great idea. I will use that one.
Okay, so now you can again turn on a hill and head up the cobblestone streets through again now passing through the heart of this village, the stone dwarven statue. Again, maybe let's make a wisdom check for you, dwarf, and see if you recognize this dwarf statue.
Oh, I passed. Wait, do I have to roll under?
Yes, sir.
No, I failed.
You still might awe at this this depiction, well carved dwarven work. This obviously esteemed and one-time great leader of this area, maybe or something. For some reason, there's a statue of this dwarf in this village.
He looks like me.
I'm asking if there's any reminiscent aspects to the island caverns that were dwarven made from a last excursion to the island.
You could definitely recognize this is the same class of dwarven make, except the island would have been an ancient art that even you as a dwarf wouldn't have known, right? I mean, you recognize it, but this appears to be generational, the same workmanship, but it's generationally lost, and this is still darn good, but it isn't quite like the island. But they're related. This stonecraft is the same art, right?
Step down, yeah.
Yeah. So yes, it is related. Yeah, if you ask. Yeah. Past this 4-story structure, hard to say. No signage on this particular structure. And there are many lamps lit inside this 4-story structure. As you turn to the right, as you follow this cobblestone up the mountain, a small mountain up out of the lake, and you come through the top, you end at some small. Again, all of these are stone 2-story structures. There are no little hovels. There's no evidence that anybody who lives here is not equal in stature, right? They all have the same kind of abode. And you can see now where this leads off into a canyon and into a small mountain up ahead. As you come out of this village, you can see that trail, and that as the fog's not quite breaking, but you get the sense that there's definitely a looming shadow of a mountain there as you go through the fog. It takes you probably 45 minutes trudging up through this little valley, this arroyo that's taking you between into the mountains. And as you get the wind breaks because you're in this valley, so you don't hear the wind now as much. You actually feel a little warmer as just breaks the weather, breaks the wind. The fog is settled thick, though. You can see now maybe 7 feet. And as you approach, you begin to see in the distance a light in the fog. Just this light that illuminates the fog. Hard to say how far. Yeah.
Can you make that out, dwarf? I hear your eyes are good in these conditions.
I see two stupid humans.
Elsewhere. Elsewhere. Over there, the lights.
I just roll my eyes.
Intently. I'm
As you move further up, dwarf, you as you break through this fog, you see standing two dwarves talking with weapons. They're garbed in black plate mail, and they look up at you as they're talking over what appears to be a small fire. And they look up at you and ready their weapons. They don't appear to have seen the two thieves.
Mm-hmm.
And they say something in a language. This is utterly foreign to you. It is obviously they're dwarves, right? You do not. They're speaking in obviously a tongue that is
Their own.
Yep.
Hmm.
And their posture changes to an aggressive posture. They're reaching for weapons. They're pulling shields around, and they speak to each other first, and then they kind of blurt something at you to see if you recognize what they say.
I just drop my weapons.
They say something to each other, and the one stands ready while the other puts his shield away, and he approaches you. And gets up close, literally right up to your nose. You can see his teeth are black and rotted. His breath is horrible. You can see there's this gleam. There is a. You get the real sense, unless you are chaotic. Are you chaotic? Are you all lawful? These guys are the opposite of you. They are dark.
I'm neutral.
Yeah, and okay, and they are. So you still pick this up. These guys are dark. He kind of stands face to face, and he says something again. As he does, his saliva stretches between his mouth as he spits kind of in your face. He's literally nose to nose with you. You can see in his eye. Are you going to respond to his question?
And I'm just gonna.
He's clearly trying to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just gonna point at my ears and kind of say play like I'm deaf, like I can't hear, I can't talk, kind of mute.
Can we see this all?
Now you two are still standing in the fog here. You're watching this. This guy's this guy is well armed. In the shadows, you two are kind of watching this. He laughs when he realizes that. He puts a hand on your chest and pushes you away, dwarf. And he reaches down and picks up this gold mace. Wah! And he starts
cranking my
starts playing. He starts playing with it, and he looks at you. And he's saying something again in a language you don't understand. See, they're kind of at this point they think you might be an idiot, right?
Can I ready my bow?
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, I want to ready my bow.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna run and I'm gonna kick him as hard as I can in between the legs and take my mace back.
Okay. So 2 initiative. I rolled a 2. Now you two would have surprise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go. You two, the 2 thieves hiding, could go first. Go ahead and roll initiative, though, dwarf, between us.
12.
Die 6.
Oh, sorry.
That's really good, but no. You are a badass. You are King Blunder.
I'm the king, bro. 3.
3. You get. Well, you do catch him, right? You basically get the. But these 2 get a chance to do something before you. But Blunder, you will go first as you try to kick him in the nards. In this dwarf ball guard.
I want to kind of fire an arrow at the second one that did not approach.
Exactly. That's what I was going to do too.
Okay, so you get 2 rate of fire with bows in this. You get to fire twice per round with bows. You guys are in shadows, hiding, so you're going to get a bonus. It's pretty devastating. This could be devastating on this guy.
Yeah.
Let's find the... Right.
A fifth guy? No.
Huh.
You there?
Oh, hers died.
You might have to kick yourself.
I did. I'll kick her. There we go.
Okay, there you go.
Did I kick the wrong one? No, okay.
No.
Sorry, it booted me out.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. Okay, so you get, let's see here, +2. That's going to do damage die twice for this. I'm calling this a backstab, basically. It's just done with a bow in the dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
So roll twice to hit this dwarf. Donnie, you go first. You got a
All right,
+2
so-
to hit, plus
All
your
right, so-
dexterity.
I rolled a natural 18.
That's a hit. That is a hit.
So, and I have to roll it twice, right?
Damage twice for, yes. So you roll your damage twice. D6 twice.
Okay. All right, so, and then I -1 from each one, so that would be a 5.
Okay, 5 total?
5 total.
Okay. All right. Your second arrow. You have another arrow, Donnie. You get a second shot.
No, I rolled both of those together, like wrote the 2 dice together. So all total between the 2 dice, the
You
2
rolled a hit
was 5.
Right, but you actually get a second shot. You got to do double damage because it's a surprise attack for you.
Okay.
So now you're rolling a second arrow, and that'll be double damage if you hit.
I got a 17.
That's it. Ooh, that's a hit. And roll 2-6 again for that.
2-6. Okay.
Get him.
And that time it will be 3 for the damage.
Ooh, nice, but somehow he is still on his feet. So 2 of these arrows into his, maybe one into his shoulder, the other into his ribs. So quick, out of the darkness come these 2 arrows. Now, Dell, it is yours.
I had been cranking up my crossbow bolt. My crossbow, and I let loose the bolt as I look over to Saltine and give her a wink.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then she lets loose, and
Now,
I'm
crossbow gets a shot every other round, so you're only going to get the 1 shot, right?
Yeah.
But still you get +2 from this, basically a backstab, and your dexterity bonus.
Okay. Dex bonus is 1.
Plus
3,
2.
15 altogether.
How much?
15 altogether.
Ooh, that unfortunately that misses. Well, let's say it hits his black metal helmet and bounces off. Right, so you just missed that. So he's still on his feet. Now, Blunder, you get to go first in melee against this one that's face to face with you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a hand-to-hand attack, no weapon, right?
No. I'm going to grab the mace and try to get the mace from him, I guess.
Okay, let's just make an opposed strength. Just make an opposed check, right?
Okay.
Add your strength bonus versus his strength bonus to your die 20. Whoever gets highest wins.
I got 30.
What?
I got 30.
What, King Blunder? How the hell can you get 30?
It's good to be the king. Yeah.
What did you get? No, really, what did you get?
I got 4.
4. I got 2, so you win. Unbelievable.
Yes, he got
That was the meager. That was like the most meager, like, give it to me.
That's like a slap fight.
I know, it was like,
It's like, so he looks surprised when you snatch this from him. And,
I just grab it like a little bitch.
right. Yeah,
Give me that.
and he does the
Mine.
same. He reaches out to snatch it back. So let's do another opposed strength check.
Okay.
Oh shit! What did you roll?
Oh, 8.
Oh, I got a 7. No. Okay.
Mine.
Unbelievable. so you win this
Sounded.
round with this in your hand. That was his attack. Was trying to take it back. Round 2, roll initiative, Drew, for round, and you and you
God.
two are still hidden for the most part.
I got a 1.
I got a 5, so he gets to go this time. Okay, so this last dwarf now is drawing his weapons, and he's moving. And again, they get to go first. I rolled a 5. So you two can get one move before he gets to go because you're still hidden from him. At least according to my rolls to find you.
So I don't want to move. I just want to reload and shoot.
Okay, so shoot 2 more at the guy that's wounded already, right?
Yeah.
Okay, roll, shoot.
So 13 plus
that-
1, so 14.
That misses as it he's moving now toward the melee, and that misses.
All right. You said I get another one?
Yep, 2 shots.
Oh, no. that one misses a 3.
Okay, so he's moving surprisingly so quick. You're just right. You're behind him as he's moving into melee with Blunder. Okay, Del. You unfortunately you'd have to cock your crossbow again or something else.
Yeah, it would take a full round to do that. That's why I dropped the crossbow to the side. Damn it! And reach in and grab my dagger
Okay.
and pitch it.
Ooh,
All right?
nice.
As I keep running toward him.
Roll +2, +1, +3 to hit him.
It's another 15.
You missed it by 1. It clatters off into the rocks. This guy who's wounded, surviving somehow. Okay, Drew, they both come waylay on you, right? This guy 20.
Mhm.
That's a hit. This is the guy moving into melee. 20, so that's 3. That's 9 points of damage, sir. Double damage.
Oh my god.
As he hits you with this battle axe. The other guy draws his sword and his battle axe and misses you with his. Whoo! Okay, it's your go, sir.
Can we play that?
I can't top that. I'm gonna take my mace and I'm obviously all fucked up, so I'm on my hands and knees. I'm gonna swing my mace backhandedly, try to take him out from the legs,
Okay.
and then maybe swing all the way up around, grab it with double clasp, and take the other guy out from the head.
Nice. Okay, now you're attacking the one that hit you first.
Yeah.
Okay, the one that's wounded. Go. All right, roll.
Oh, 12.
Okay, he deflects that away as you're obviously hurt from his blow. He kind of steps away and deflects with his axe handle your blow away from him. And we roll now initiative for round 3. Everybody rolls now. I rolled a 3. Round 3. Everybody's involved now.
4.
1.
I got 4.
Okay,
I got
so Donnie.
Mhm.
Excuse me, Saltzine and Blunder go before. Dale got a 1, so then the dwarves. Okay, and then Dale. Okay, so Donnie or Blunder, who wants to go first in this melee? Now, Donnie, you're not in the melee, but you're in the combat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you want to go first since you're tied up with them?
I will tie them up for you because I'm
Okay.
almost dead. So if I
All
do
right.
anything else and get countered or something, then I'm gonna die.
All right. So then I'm going to go and shoot my arrows again at the one that was wounded.
Okay.
7.
Okay.
5.
Okay,
Damn.
now that's shooting into melee, so we got to roll to see if you hit your friend or,
Oh,
or the
Lord.
other dwarf. So
Okay.
first we'll roll to see if you hit the other dwarf. Go ahead and roll. Same thing. You're going to roll to hit to see if those arrows hit the other dwarf.
Donnie, if you kill the king, if you kill the king, you're gonna be the worst player ever.
The other arrow? The other arrow?
13.
Okay, so now roll for those 2 arrows on your dwarf king friend.
Oh, no.
Ah!
4
Woo!
minus 1, so that's 3. 2 for the second one.
Woo! Okay,
5.
so she managed to miss everybody in that melee. Unbelievable, right?
Oh.
Missed everybody. All right, okay, Blunder, it is your go, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna run away.
Okay, flee?
Yeah.
Not a problem. You got melee, so you're backing out defensively, no sweat. You're moving, you're fleeing. Okay. Now you can't, when you flee, you can't decide where, what direction, etc. I'll decide that with a random
I'm
roll.
stripping as I run away.
Yep. Okay. All right, Dell. They go now, right? They go now.
Yeah.
So they turn their attention into the darkness, looking for Dell and Donnie. I'm going to make a roll here for them against your hiding shadows again. They do see Donnie where all these arrows have been coming out of the darkness. They're not far from you, 8 feet. They'll cross and they'll take swings at Donnie here with these battle axes. Both of them miss, Donnie, as you step and dodge in the fog. You are now in melee, though, so you can no longer use your bow, all right?
Okay.
Dale, you see these 2 dwarves now as your friend flees off into the fog. You see.
Well, I'd already drawn my short sword, and because I saw them approaching him,
right.
He starts running off, and I'm already drawing it and running down because I didn't want to throw the dagger.
Right.
You know, because they're closing ranks. He drops and runs off, and I'm coming in right at him as they're running up toward Donnie.
Yes. They both attacked her as she was exposed.
I'm trying to swiftly as possible get up and backstab him with a short sword.
Yep.
Short sword. All right.
Okay. Do you want to hit the one with arrows sticking out of him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get rid of him first.
Okay.
I just rolled a 13 strength. There's no bonuses.
Oh, okay. Again, against this armor class, you're a thief, correct? Level 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did I do a backstab? I don't know.
Oh, yes, that's right. You're still hiding. So +2, +3, you said?
Yeah.
That is a hit. That would be a hit on the button. So roll
Thank
double
God.
damage. 2d6 twice for damage.
That's 5 total.
Okay, describe how you kill this one with the arrows sticking out of him.
I'm just silently and shank him in the back.
Nice.
Slide it in there and push off as I'm wiping the blade
Nice.
on my sleeve as I'm pirouetting him out of the way and jumping over and going straight for the next one.
Okay. And unfortunately, he may have spotted you, so you may not be hidden from the other one with that move, right? Because you killed his friend. Okay, you need to make a 1d6 check for me, sir. We're going to see which direction you ran randomly. Blunder. So 1 is north, 2 and 3 is south, 4 and 5 is east, 6 is west.
Oh, I ran north.
Oh, so you run. They were guarding an entrance to a cavern. You ran.
Yes,
through the
I know.
fog and into the cavern.
Oh my God.
Like a stupid head.
So again, because you're fleeing, we're gonna give you a bonus here, but and you're fleeing past the entrance of this cavern, which is trapped. So you're gonna have to make a save versus traps here, unfortunately, sir. As you just scream off
Running
through
into
this
the
trap.
maw of death.
Dear God. Dear God.
Wow.
Oh.
Oh my God, I got a 20. Thank God.
Oh, so you hear as you trip and stumble on a trip line, you hear the something fall in behind you, maybe just knocking you forward, but not damaging as you roll and stand up. You now see you're in a cave, and it's dark. It's sheltered. There's no fog in here, and the behind you there was a cave in. Right, you tripped something that caved you in. Okay, we need to roll initiative for our melee out here, right?
Okay.
3 plus 1 so 4.
Wow.
Jeez,
So I rolled a 6. Okay, so this dwarf is still now he has seen out of the corner of his eye his buddy slow and he does turn to attack you, sir, Wolf, and he rolls a 19, 5 damage
Ooh.
to Wolf. So he spins around, screaming in some language, spitting this phlegm and saliva in your face as you have cut down his buddy, who he was.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Rather fond of.
Yes. All right. So it is now your go, Del, I believe, and then or Donnie's go, I think, then Del's go.
Okay, he turns around and bites into me. Ugh! No, what it is, Donnie's go, because I got a 1.
I think it's Donnie.
Yeah. So I turn around and I drop my bow down, and I pull out my dagger, and I just want to stab him as he's turning around.
Okay.
16.
Yep. Damage.
All right. 3.
Okay. 3, you said? Wow, nice.
3.
Okay. He barks out in pain, but he's still on his feet. And now Dell, you see in his eyes as she has clearly found purchase in his kidneys with this knife.
Yeah, his eyes go wide a
I
little
don't know.
bit.
Do dwarves have kidneys in the same place we do?
Bam, baby. Just rolled a 19.
Oh, roll your
Yes.
damage. Nice.
I'm pretty sure
Now-
if bears do, dwarfs do.
Okay. Short sword is D6, right?
Yes, sir. Everything in this is D6. That's why I love
Six.
Warlocks.
6.
Oh, you just killed it.
Right.
That was all he had left.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Describe it, my friend. That was sweet.
Okay, he bit into me, and she stuck in his eyes with ride, and I stuck it right through his neck.
Nice.
Right
He
through
gurgles, it coughs up blood, spits it onto your white. This.
While he's
fur.
doing it, I'm like a can opener. You know what I mean? I'm just taking it.
Oh,
Let the hand roll off.
right.
And hit the
Oh, he drops to his
Nice.
knees in this black plate mill and forward, his head rolling off into the fog. They have black, again, these black armor, black helms, black capes. The ball guard dwarves. They have battle axes if you need. Plus
like-
the golden. No, you actually grabbed your golden mace. So now we had a hard stop here in like 5 minutes. Is this a good cliffhanger?
Yeah, because at,
Yeah.
at the time I hold the sword up and I'm wild-eyed like that. I'm looking around.
I really want to know what these bad dwarves are up to, man.
I
Where's the
know.
dwarf?
Big time.
Yeah.
I'm saying that salty. Where's the dwarf? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Where is your friend?
Where's the damn dwarf?
You mean the
All right.
king? Get used to it.
And
Get used to
then
it.
I turn around and see all the rubble
Yeah.
and the kind of smoke
Yeah.
and debris
Yeah.
pitching out
Yeah.
from the curled up pit.
Yeah. And it doesn't block it. You can step over it and into the cavern, but it would have killed. It might have killed a lesser person.
Okay, that's what I'm saying because I don't know if it actually covered
Hell,
him up
he
or-
might be buried under it for all you know.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can see that. All right,
That's
that's
awesome.
good.
Awesome. That was fantastic. Thank you.
That was great.
So cliffhanger
Yes,
will be
thank you.
at the cavern entrance of the Baldor hideout, right? Next time.
Yes.
Dangerous place.
Baldor hideout.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I needed that. My God, it's been a crazy couple of weeks for me, man. This
Tell
was
me about
good.
it, man.
This was good.
Yeah.
So,
I'm loving the intrigue between the different
I know.
clans and the like never really knowing who's good and who's bad.
yeah.
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 Yeah. It's
Who
awesome.
decides that? And again, this was all random seeds.
It's all perspective though,
That's
at the
good.
same time, right?
That's right,
Like
yeah.
the dwarves might not necessarily be good to you guys, but
Yep.
they're good
Yeah.
to me.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was random. So we had you rolled 14 for the first random seed. That was all the locals are arming and suiting up for combat? Question mark. That's all it said.
Nice.
So I had to invent what the
Well
hell was
done.
that, right?
Wow.
Well done.
And then we rolled the weather, which further complicated it, right?
That
Wow.
was awesome.
Almost.
Because it
So
just
this
seemed
was
like
all
Good
so well
job.
planned out.
And then
Good job.
then I rolled during this session. Then I rolled 10. Unlongus knows why the dragon attacked, and so I tied it to why they were marching
Nice.
toward Vargas, right? And that's what he told you.
Nice.
I know why they attacked us. And then
Yeah.
the third one I rolled was the elf blacksmith has disappeared. That was
Nice.
Welland, right?
Mm.
The elf. So those are 3 random things I just rolled up. There's no
Yeah, but-
manual, there's no written information, and I just
Yeah.
pull enemies out of the book.
Connect the dots.
Jason, if Blunder ever makes it out of this situation, I definitely want to do like a one-on-one where Blunder does the Azurite mission.
Oh yeah.
Because there's no one's gonna go for that
Yeah.
because it's all for me. It's all for the king.
I love one-on-one games, so I'll
Yeah.
gladly do one-on-one stuff too. Yeah, it's so fun,
Yeah.
so fun. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had what else? There was one other one in here, but I didn't roll. I didn't roll it, but I thought, man, if that comes up, that'll be really cool. But it didn't come up, so yeah. So
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you
Save
so
it for
much.
later, yeah.
No doubt. Do I love random seed narration? I love
Mhm.
this way, man. This is how I was doing the 2061 stuff with Donnie and Dell.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's good.
Everything's randomly decided, and then we just play together, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
outstanding.
I
It's
even
fun.
ripped off your Thousand Eyes character for escape velocity that day, and then started him into the game
Yeah.
when I was playing with Jason.
Yep.
I gotta ask though, why is Wolf Captain Kirk? Why does he talk like Captain Kirk? You must know what I'm talking about.
I never noticed that, but I love Captain Kirk.
I'm a card person. I'm Team Picard.
I'm Team Picard too.
He's William Shatner, Jeff Goldblum, and hold on, and Adam West love child.
Oh,
Uh,
Adam West's love child. I love it. Love it.
Yeah, just all three of them. He just
Adam West is by far my favorite Batman.
He went to the same school of acting. Yeah.
Same school of acting. That's awesome. Well, thank you guys. That was awesome. And we managed to get it done in 2 hours. Well, we got to this place, right? In 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I thought that dwarf was dead.
I know, right?
Which dwarf?
Drew's character.
Oh,
I know.
I don't know how much you got left, hit points wise.
Probably one.
Wow. Oh my gosh, you do.
One,
Jiminy Christmas.
Wow.
That's crazy.
If he
man.
wouldn't have rolled that 20 going through there, yeah, it would have been. That'd have been his tomb right then and there.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. If I had hit that and missed, I would have died. That's why I said I'm gonna die right now.
Oh, holy cow. Yeah, because all this is random, I just have my book of dungeons.
Nice.
So I just flip to a dungeon and say, okay, this is the cavern interest, and this one's trapped. So I don't have to prep anything. I just have these dungeons, right?
Nice.
Wolf was actually picking up everything you stripped off as you was running away.
Yeah, the people.
Eventually, I plan on you guys just finding me in like a loincloth with like a big gash on my stomach or something, and my big fat gut hanging up.
Sucking your thumb.
Yeah. In the
Opening curtains.
defensive fetal position posture,
Fallen.
blowing stop bubbles. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
My
Opening
favorite
curtains in the
favorite
next
part
section.
was the fight over the mace.
Yeah. This is what's gonna happen. Is opening curtains for next section. Me and Wolf are going to be back into our little huts, and here comes the half-dead dwarf
Right.
because we just deserted
Yeah,
him
just
for
leave
death.
Just like guts and large intestines in hands, like trying to like waddle back into the village.
Yeah, we're just gonna follow his intestines trail to find him.
Oh my god. And when you failed that save on the extreme weather, oh my god, I thought you're at half hit points. Suddenly the game gets that much more dangerous. Yeah.
Exactly.
Crazy. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I appreciate you all for doing this and playing with me. It's
Thanks so much,
fantastic.
Jason.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was really
Man,
good.
man, awesome
Thank you.
story. So it keeps us captivated.
Yep.